All right, if you're a homeowner, listen up. Seriously, the next few minutes could literally save you thousands of dollars. We're going to break down one of the most common and expensive disasters that can hit your house. Let's dive in. Okay, let me ask you something. What do you think is the biggest threat to your home? Like, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Fire, right? Or maybe a huge storm? And yeah, those are definitely scary. But there's something else, something much more common that's probably hiding in plain sight.
Yup, it's water. Sounds simple, but it is so sneaky and unbelievably destructive. We're talking about a tiny little drip, something you'd never even notice, that can quietly spiral into a massive, wallet-draining catastrophe before you even have a clue what's happening.
And that's exactly why we're calling it the silent threat. I mean, think about it. You have smoke detectors, right? But your house has zero alarms for a slow leak that's happening inside a wall or underneath your floorboards. The damage gets a huge head start, all while you're going about your day totally unaware. So where does this all come from? Well, it's the stuff you use every single day. That pipe that freezes and bursts during a cold snap, the washing machine hose that's been chugging along for 10 years and just gives up, or your sump pump deciding to take a vacation during the biggest rainstorm of the year. Honestly, for most of us, it's really not a question of if this stuff happens, it's a matter of when.
Okay, so if you can't see it, how in the world do you find it? You gotta play detective. Use your other senses. You know that weird musky smell in the basement you can't quite place? Or what about paint that's suddenly peeling or bubbling up? And if you see your beautiful wood floor starting to buckle or cup, those are huge alarm bells. Oh, and here's a fantastic pro tip. Check your water bill. If it suddenly skyrockets for no reason, that's a massive flashing red light that you've got a hidden leak somewhere.
But here's where it gets even more complicated. Let's say you found the water. You need to understand that not all water is created equal. Seriously, when a pro shows up, their first question isn't just, where's the leak? It's, what kind of water are we dealing with? And trust me, the answer to that question changes the entire game.
So the pros have a system for this. It's not just guesswork. They use these official water categories to classify how contaminated the water is. It's all laid out by the standards group, the IICRC, and this classification basically dictates everything, how dangerous it is to your health, and exactly what the cleanup plan is going to be.
It's actually pretty simple. It breaks down into 3 levels. You've got Category 1, which is clean water. Think of a busted water supply line. It's a mess, but the water itself isn't a biohazard yet. Then you step up to Category 2, or gray water. This is kind of gross. It's from something like an overflowing washing machine. And then you have the big one, Category 3, black water. This is the bad stuff. We're talking raw sewage or floodwater from outside that's full of who knows what, a serious health risk.
Now listen to this, because it's probably the most important thing to remember. Time is absolutely not on your side. That clean Category 1 water, it doesn't stay clean for long. Let it sit in your walls and floors for just 48 hours, and bam, bacteria and mold start going crazy, and it officially turns into contaminated Category 2 water. That's why you have to act fast.
Okay, so the worst has happened. A pipe burst, there's water everywhere, total chaos, right? It feels that way. But for the professionals, it's anything but chaos. It's a very specific, step-by-step game plan. Let's walk through that restoration playbook. So it really boils down to 3 main steps. Step 1 is the emergency part. You gotta stop the source and get all that standing water out, like right now. Step 2 is the one most people don't think about, structural drying. And step 3, which only happens after everything is 100% dry, is the actual restoration and rebuilding. You might be thinking, can't I just grab some towels and a fan? Nope, and here's why. Water is a master of hide and seek. It gets inside your drywall, under your floors, places you can't see. Pros use high-tech gear like thermal cameras to literally see that hidden moisture. The goal isn't just drying the carpet you can see, it's stopping the mold you can't see from growing later on. And I gotta be honest, the structural drying part isn't quick. It's not a one-day job. We're talking about an army of huge industrial air movers and dehumidifiers running around the clock 24/7. You should expect that whole process to take anywhere from 3 to 7 days, sometimes longer, just to pull all that moisture out of the bones of your house. Okay, let's clear up some jargon you're going to hear. Mitigation and restoration. They sound similar, but they're totally different things. The best way to think about it is this. Mitigation is the emergency room. It's all about stopping the bleeding and preventing things from getting worse.
Restoration, that's the recovery and reconstructive surgery. It's fixing the damage that's already been done. New drywall, new floors, all that.
All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The second you see water damage, that one giant question hits you. Who's paying for all this? This is why understanding your insurance policy before disaster strikes is so, so important. So, as a general rule, your standard homeowner's insurance covers things that are sudden and accidental. Those are the magic words. A pipe that just bursts out of nowhere, covered. Your washing machine hose suddenly letting go, covered. That's what insurance is really there for, the unexpected.
But what they don't cover is just as critical to know. That slow dripping leak behind the toilet that's been going on for 6 months, they'll likely call that a maintenance problem, and you're on your own. And here is the absolute biggest one to remember: flood damage. We're talking about water rising from the outside and coming in. That is almost never covered by your regular policy. You need a completely separate flood insurance policy for that.
Okay, so we've talked about the threat, we've walked through the playbook, and we've touched on the money. Now let's wrap this up by shifting gears from just reacting to a disaster to actively defending your home against one. Look, when your house is flooding, panic is a totally normal reaction. It's overwhelming. But the fact that you're here learning this stuff right now, that is the single best thing you can do. Just knowing what to look for, who to call, and what the process looks like, it flips the script. You go from being a victim of the situation to being a prepared homeowner who's in control. That knowledge, that's your best defense, hands down. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. It's so easy to get comfortable, right? You think, hey, my house made it through that last big storm, we're good. But being prepared isn't about what happened yesterday. The real question is, what's your plan for tomorrow? Is your home really ready for the next one?